Welcome back. My guest is a 14-year NHL vet. He led the Red Wings to their 4th Stanley Cup title in the past 11 years. I am joined in studio by Chris Osgood and the Cup. What's up, Chris? How you doing? Good to see you.
It's great to be here.
All right. How about that last scramble, the mad scramble at the very end? Have you ever been so happy to see the clock hit 0?
It was a crazy game. I said going into Game 6 I was going to take it whistle at a time because of what happened in Game 5. And I really didn't even know how much time there was on the clock. The puck just hit me and went kind of to the side. I tried knocking it aside, and the ref said the game was over. He was yelling, waving his arms, and I was never so relieved.
You know, you talk about Game 5. That's a game that goes triple OT. You guys had that Game 1 at home, 34 seconds left, and you had to keep grinding. Just how tough was it to put that loss behind you, get up, get on the plane, and go to Pittsburgh?
Our dressing room was pretty quiet when we came off the ice, not only from the exhaustion of playing the game, but I think mentally we were tired. And then losing the game, knowing we were 34 seconds away from hoisting the cup, and then you hear stories while you're leaving the rink that the cup was at the gate and the championship hats were out of the box, makes it even that much worse. So you're driving home kind of kicking the pedal to the floor and banging the steering wheel. It was tough. And when I got home, you got to let it go and move on to the next game, but it was difficult.
All right, so it's been a decade for you personally between cups. How does this one compare to the last one?
I think it's more enjoyable, just the circumstances that I went in personally, but when you get a little older, you get over yourself a little bit. I got to enjoy more of my guys that are on my team that haven't won before, like Dallas Drake. He battled so hard in the league for many years, and the younger guys that haven't won, and I kind of get to sit back and look at their happiness, and that's what it's all about to me now.
You know, Chris, I think what you're getting at also, I mean, what a journey you've taken professionally, even personally, since that last one. I mean, you always had the game to play in the NHL, the talent to play in the NHL. Did you always have the mentality to perform at the top levels of that league?
I always had the physical ability. I think I had to work on my mind a little bit. Sometimes I'd try stopping 300 shots before the game even started and blow my mind out mentally. I really learned last couple seasons, clear my mind and live in the now and just play that particular game in that moment. And I think that's made me better where I'm more mentally focused when the game starts.
Was it part of the general maturation process, or maybe did you have an epiphany or something at some point?
I had an epiphany at one point. I realized, it was part of what I had to do to get better as a goalie. And I knew I always had the talent, but I was blowing myself out before games, and I wasn't sometimes able to be fully focused for 60 minutes of the game. So I just relaxed myself before the game, not really think about much, but when the game starts, it's game on. I found that it works. I'm 100% better.
I was going to say, you actually got part of that from Dominic Hasek. He taught you save your mind for the game. What does that mean?
Yeah, I watched Dom when he came, and Dom's pretty relaxed off the ice. In the dressing room, he'll talk about other things right up to the point of where we need to go on the ice with 2 minutes to go. Then when the game's on, you can notice the intensity and the focus in Dom, and he's a Hall of Fame player, 6 Vezinas. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that. And I started using it more and more, implementing it into my game, and it definitely works.
So in the middle of the first round, when Mike Babcock came to you and said, Chris, you're the guy, we're going to go with you, what was going on mentally? Did you think to yourself, this is my time, this is what I work for, get on my back, I'm going to get us there?
Yeah, I thought that. I mean, when I was sitting on the bench for the first 3.5 games, I knew I'd done the right things on and off the ice to be prepared to play. So I wasn't sitting there on the bench hoping not to go in. I was waiting for my opportunity, and when I went in, I was just focused, and I was confident that I could do the job, and my job then was to keep us in that particular game. But after that, I knew I could do it, and I was hoping he'd stay with me.
You know, it was more than just getting yourself right mentally. Back in 2004, you literally started over. You broke your game down. You started from scratch and learned how to play the position all over again. I mean, you were 11 years in. You'd already won a Stanley Cup. Who does that? Why did you do that?
During the lockout, the game changed. Players are faster. Players are better. There's less clutching and grabbing like there was before. And you watch these young goalies, the Luongos and the Fleury, who I played against in the finals, how good they are moving laterally and controlling rebounds. I needed to change my game a bit. So what I did was I took what I did good prior to the lockout and implemented these new things in my game to try and mesh them together to make myself better than I was before. And I had to do it, or I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
You know, what you did also, you increased mental toughness. I mean, can you decide, I'm going to be mentally tougher, or is it basically just a culmination of all your experiences and what you've gone through that makes you mentally tougher?
I think it's from what you've experienced, but at the same time, you have to have in your mind that you're going to do it, and you have to kind of get over yourself and realize that you do have some faults that you need to improve on, and that's what I did. And sometimes with some athletes, it's hard for them to say, they're not good at certain things, and I had to just look within myself and say, I need to get better mentally, and I need to get better on the ice and implement these two things. It was kind of a meshing together. My first year was a struggle. but now the last 2 years it seems to be working.
I'll tell you what I'm struck by. I'm struck by your brutal honesty with yourself about your game. But you know what? You go back to when you won that cup with Detroit. I've never seen a guy win a Stanley Cup as a goaltender and, frankly, get less credit. I mean, they were making it sound like they won in spite of you and not because of you. But you were never bitter. You never resented it. In the back of your mind, when you left, you thought, I'm still going to come back. I love it here.
Yeah, I let in 2 goals from a long ways out that year, and at probably some pretty bad times. But the next game, against Dallas, I had a shutout the next game, and against St. Louis, we won the next game. I always pride myself. And, you know, when things do go rough, or I let in a tough goal that I'm able to rebound and play real well the next game. And I played real solid that year, but we had great players on our team, and Vladimir Konstantinov, who was in that terrible accident the year before. It was more about those guys than it was about me. And I didn't get much credit, but I didn't mind because I was where I wanted to be, and I loved playing in Detroit, and I just wanted to try and stay as long as I could.
Well, it's about you now, and you're certainly back home. Chris, I think it's a great story. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing it. Thank you for bringing the cup. See you again next year. Good job.
Awesome. Thank you. Hopefully I can be back.
You got it. Anytime you want. Remember, you can check out Jim Roman's Burning each weekday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on ESPN. I will see you then.